For the past 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, Nigeria has been having challenges that are beckoning and waiting for answers and solutions. That is why we are bringing to you our program, State of the Nation. And this is going to come up on our flagship program this morning on ITV. I am hereby inviting you to join me, Bola Bakare, your host, on State of the Nation, so that we can hasten the motions that brings national development. It's going to be a regular basis on Tuesdays. Make it a date with me. I'll be there waiting for you, and then we shall discuss Nigeria on an holistic level. This morning on State of the Nation Brief, we shall dwell on you as a parent. What are your duties? What are your callings? What should you do? What shouldn't you do? Because you as a parent, the kids you have are the ones that are going to lead our nation, Nigeria. And how you bring them up, all the travails that they go through, either positive or negative, you affected. And if you don't do a good job of that, there is going to be a problem. That it's not just going to be yours alone, it's going to be a collective problem. What am I talking about here this morning? What I'm saying in simple terms is parents and their duties. What is your duty to your child? It is not enough for you to wake up, get married, pray to the Almighty God for kids, and when you have the kids, you throw big parties, you bring in friends, you keep throwing birthday parties from ages 1, 2, 3, 4 until the kid is in school. And then subsequently, the love you had prior, when the kid was a kid, a little tot, begins to wane. This brings to the fore the latest of news. I am not a morbid person, but I hate it when death occurs. When death that is avoidable occurs, I do not like it. And I'm sure you don't like it either. What am I talking about? I would like to run a reference to a news that is rife to every one of us. The case of an institution where a kid died. Did you hear me? A kid died. Not at the hands of armed robbers, kidnappers, or insurgency, or what have you. The kid died due to the infliction of harm to him by his fellow students. In other words, I am saying kids to kids created this case of homicide. And then you as a parent, what part do you play? I'll tell you this, I'll give you a brief. It is known fact, because we all have gone through schools, that when you're going through school, there are bound to be other kids that are, maybe by virtue of their size, they tend to become bullies. Or by virtue of what they've seen at home. If the father is a bully to everybody in the house, the kid becomes a bully to anybody that is lower than himself on the outside. So you as a parent, you come in there at the first note. If you breed a bully, the bully will affect other kids in school. That's one. Two, if you send your kids to school, do you take time out to find out what is going on in the school? Or do you just wait and sit back at home, that once the bills are paid, once your driver takes the kid to school or the kid is in the boarding house, you're good to go? From my angle, from my opinion, the answer is no. When I was going to school, what is called PTA, Parents Teachers Association, was very, very, very strong. If there is time for a PTA meeting, parents must come. I emphasize the word must. And if they are not available, there is a proxy. They take a register of every kid and every parent, or a proxy from the parent. But these days, we don't even bother. We're interested in, oh, I've paid the bills. Did you pass? Make sure you pass. Make sure you're in the first 5 in your class. And then we are least interested. Let me run you an inference. Maybe you've forgotten. There was, when bombing, terrorist bombing was rife, there is a Pampas bomber who gave us a bad name. He's a Nigerian. The father, let me leave the name out of it, was a former chairman of a big bank in Nigeria. This boy was sent to school in Ghana. And every time the kid picks up the phone to talk to anybody in the house, all they tell him is, are you all right? Have you finished your money? We will send you some more. Make sure you read your books. And that ends it. This guy fell out of love, out of family love. And he went online and found friends in terrorism. What did he do? He attempted to blow up a plane mid-air using bomb encased in pampers, in diapers. That is why he's called the Pampas bomber. This is a Nigerian kid from a wealthy family. Money was not the problem, but the problem was there was no affection, there was no family. So what I'm saying to you as a parent is, don't just think because you've paid the school fees, you put the kid in a good school, then your job is done. It's high time you become a member of the Parent Teachers Association. If the school your ward is going to doesn't have it, enforce it. If they don't want to do that, take your kid away. You need to be interested in what your kid is doing in school. You need to be interested in who the teacher is. You need to be interested in who the principal of the school is. We are not ruling out a case of what is called hazing. That is, I am your senior. I'm in Form 2, Form 3, or you're in Form 1, GSS. We call it Form during my own time, so I'm still used to it. But these days they call it GSS 1, 2, 3 and SS 1, 2, 3. The moment you are a senior, the little hazing you had when you were a junior, you will try and impart that to the next junior. This is part of growing up. The kid learns how to be independent, how to be self-sustaining, how not to depend on mom and dad at home, how to become himself. But there is an extent to hazing. There is an extent to kind of chaperoning your juniors to become bold and strong human beings. That is why you as a parent, you come in. If you do not know what is happening in school, I don't pray for it. Cases like what we had lately in Darwin will happen. Another factor you have to look at is simple. Learn how to talk to your kids. Learn to have the confidence of your kids. If your kids do not have your confidence, they will either listen to someone on the outside or succumb to whatever they find themselves in. But if you are in close knit with your family and your kids, they will be able to come back home and say, Dad, Mr. X or Mrs. B is doing this to me. Because in most cases, perpetrators always tell the victims, if you tell anybody, I'll kill you. If you tell anybody, I'll beat you some more. Now, that is what I am saying. We have to weigh that scale. Is your kid going to believe in the perpetrator more than you? You have to give your kid the confidence they need enough to negate the threat of the perpetrator and believe more in you. In most cases, they don't believe in you. That is why they succumb until something bad happens. Then we start getting the dossier of what has transpired over the years, months, or days. As a parent, do not shy away from your responsibility. And what I'm saying here is this. In most cases, you do not even know what your responsibilities are. Let me put this across to you and get it to the back of, keep it on your, like the Africans say, if you keep it on your left hand, left palm, so that you don't use it to eat. Learn to know what is happening to your kid. Learn to gain the confidence of your kid, so that the kid will tell you the moment anything untoward is beginning to happen. Learn to be part of the school your kid is going to, Join the PTA. Don't shy away. Give your PTA the same importance that you give to your board meetings. Your board meetings, you're talking about money. Your PTA, you're talking about your kids. I leave that to you, which one is more important. You need to be part of what is happening out there, because a lot will happen. We did a lot of researches, and parents say, oh, I make sure I bring my kid up properly. You bring up your kid properly, your kid is going to mix with others. There is going to be peer pressure. There are going to be kids that weren't brought up properly that are going to mix with your kid. If you run a check on your kid on a regular basis, you'll be able to mitigate anything negative that is going to happen to your kids. And for God's sake, know the school your kid is going to. Know the principal, know the teachers, know the boarding house master, know virtually everybody. You can walk up to the principal and say, I want the list of everybody that works here, everybody that handles my kid. It is your money that pays their salary, so you have a right to know who is there. We've had cases where teachers are the ones that abuse the kids. We've had cases where even students abuse fellow students. And we've had cases where even students abuse their teachers. So from all the angles I have laid across to you, it's high time you become more of a parent and do the right thing, get interested in your kids.